those are that's the document that I had sent previously at the beginning of this program. What that does is it basically breaks down the different areas that our questions are asked on for the exam. And this is pulled directly from Intuit. I found it very helpful in preparing. So for this portion of the webinar, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute your phones. If you do have any questions, you can feel free to put them in the chat. Just I've found that there's sometimes issues with background noise and things like that. So as I mentioned, the first part will be the exam objectives. This portion will probably be 10, 15 minutes. And then afterwards, we will do the Q&A. So any questions you have as far as, finishing up training for those of you who haven't finished everything, as far as what you can expect the day of the certification exam, where it's going to be at, the types of questions. And I guess we'll just go from here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set your phones to mute here, and we'll go ahead and get started. So I broke this down so that it's a little bit easier for on the eye. So there's the two-page document for the exam objectives. But the first section that you were asked on is QuickBooks Setup. So this is what information is required before you set up a QuickBooks file. So through the Express Start, you'll need information such as basic company information and general operations within the company. Also, how to start a new company file in QuickBooks. So, again, that's the QuickBooks setup. There's the Easy Step interview, and you won't need to know specifics about that process per se, but some questions may be asking you this. Also, how to keep lists and preferences from an old file while removing transactions. So, say something went wrong, you needed to absolutely start over with a QuickBooks file. You're able to, delete through the preference in QuickBooks and keep lists and preferences, but this will remove the old transaction. So it does save some vital information for you. You'll learn how to customize the home page, and that is in preferences, and also how to set up lists. So this includes understanding which names and items appear on specific lists. And in the Mastering QuickBooks, there is a pretty large chapter about lists. I'll get into that a little bit more later. So section number 2 is QuickBooks Utilities and General Product Knowledge. So you can see that this is 10% of the questions that are asked on the exam. Again, the exam itself is 50 minutes long, and it consists of 50 multiple choice questions. So you can see that's about 5 questions in this specific topic. So something you'll need to know is how to navigate or move around QuickBooks using the home page, menus, the icon bar, etc. Also, you'll need to know how to back up and restore a data file by going to File, Open, or Restore Company. Also, how to determine the release number and how to update QuickBooks. In addition, how to use QuickBooks in single user and multi-user mode. So as you know, multiple people can access QuickBooks file all at once. You just need to make sure that everyone has the same version of QuickBooks on their computer, and make sure that you set up in multi-user mode under File. Also, which versions and editions of QuickBooks are available for specific years. And then the last 2 sections in this area are how to password protect QuickBooks. You'll want to know how to actually do that by setting up users. You'll have the administrator, and then you can set up specific users. And then also how and why to use preferences in QuickBooks. So there's several different reasons you would do this. So the third topic that we have is list management. You can see that this is 6% of what is asked. So how to manage lists, the customer list, vendors, items, and etc. So in this topic, this will include adding new list entries, deleting entries, editing entries, and merging entries. So we remember with merging, what you'll want to do is if you wanted to merge 2 lists together, you would rename the list that you want to merge as the name of the list you'd like to merge it into. So rather than getting into a ton of specifics with this at this point, pages 30 to 32 of the QuickBooks manual, day 1 goes over lists, and I found that very helpful. So topic number 4 is items. That is 8% of what the questions will be on the exam. So you'll want to know how QuickBooks uses items to perform necessary accounting entries, The different types of items and when to use each type, you'll definitely want to review this, and how to use items for different types of scenarios. So pages 40 to 48 of the Mastering QuickBooks Level 1, the Day 1 manual, rather, gives a really good overview of items. So you might just want to review this, know some of the definitions, and so on. So the fifth section that questions are asked on for the exam, 10% of the questions to be specific, is sales. So this includes who should be listed in the customer center, also how to complete workflow from making a sale to a deposit for specific things such as invoicing and sales receipts. So the home page of QuickBooks, that really shows a good visual of workflow in QuickBooks. So everything kind of leads into one another, and I found it really helpful. One of the first pages of the Day 1 manual has the QuickBooks homepage screenshot, so just to review that. Also, how QuickBooks uses the undeposited funds, accounts receivable, and checking accounts during invoicing. Another thing is how and why to record a customer credit, how and why to create statements, and also how to handle a bounced NSF check. So, some reasons there might be an NSF check if something just didn't come through properly, and there's a bit of a process to handling that. There's a 4-step process, to be specific. So this is gone over in the recorded review for the first day, so you might want to go over this as well. So area number 6 is purchases. So again, this is 10% of the exam, so give or take about 5 questions. So who should be listed in the vendor center? That would be vendors. So that's anyone you pay, which can mean subcontractors, utility companies, your landlord, tax agencies, suppliers, and so on. Also, how to navigate and use the vendor center. In addition, a topic is the different workflows for making purchases. So the process of entering and paying bills, writing checks, and then using both a credit and debit card. Another topic within here is how to record transactions in the purchase workflows, and also how and why to record a vendor credit. 2 other topics, how to complete inventory workflow, PO to payment, setting up, collecting, and paying sales tax, and then bank reconciliation. So you want to make sure that your bank account in QuickBooks matches your bank account outside of QuickBooks, and the reconciliation process for that. So topic number 7 is payroll. So you can see that's 12% of the questions that are asked. That's a larger number than a lot of these different sections. So this is, the differences between payroll services available for QuickBooks, how to set up payroll, so that's including employees, federal and state taxes, and basic payroll reductions using the payroll setup wizard. So you'll be inputting information in here that's very important for a paycheck. So I'm going to stop right here. I do have a question typed here. And the question that was asked was, does the manual contain an index of the various topics? The answer to this is yes. So the topics you can actually see, there's at the beginning of the manual, you can see the different areas. So you'll be able to see this. So getting back to this, we have how to set up payroll using the payroll wizard. So this includes setting up a payroll's earnings and sick or vacation time, and how to track sick or vacation time. So this is important when you are paying employees and setting this up. Also, how and why to set up payroll schedules and run payroll. So there's a whole specific topic. And this is reviewed in the Day 2 review that I created. I did this pretty in-depth. So how and when to run payroll. Also, how and why to run payroll liabilities, and preparing payroll forms such as a 941 and W-2. So QuickBooks does have a guide for this. In addition, how to track time and use it for payroll for invoicing customers. This is very important. So topic number 8 is reports. You can see that reports makes up 16% of the questions that are asked. So both in the review and in your review for this exam, I really do recommend that you spend some time in the report section in the manual, because this has the screenshot and the step-by-steps. So the topics that you will want to know about are why and how to use the report center. Also, how to customize reports. This includes report modifications, collapsing accounts, etc. And to customize reports, you will use the Customize Report button. So this makes it so you can change several different things, from the columns that appear to the actual appearance of the reports, and you can save templates this way too. Also, the basic question that each report answers, so that's the Report Center, gives you this information. How and why to process multiple reports, how and why to send reports to Excel, so that's exporting, and understanding and using the basic and advanced tab for this. So there's several different report options in Excel that it's really beneficial to have Excel integrated into QuickBooks. So you're able to sort, and just remember that if you're going to make any changes to a report that is exported from QuickBooks to Excel, those same changes are not imported back into your QuickBooks. And I see we have a couple of other questions here. I'm going to actually just wait to the end of this so we can get through the 10 different options. Also, how to memorize reports, both through a memorized report group, or if you want to memorize a report, in each report there is a Memorize button. So that is topic number 8 here. Topic number 9 is basic accounting. So you can see this is 10% of the questions, or about 5 questions total that are asked. So the basic financial statements, what they are, and having a basic understanding of what they mean. Also, the difference between cash and accrual reports. So again, accrual-based accounting recognizes expenses and income in the period that they have occurred, regardless if payment has actually occurred. But cash basis does not recognize this until items have actually been paid. So just remember that difference for the exam. Also, how and why to set a closing date. Why this is important is because it allows you to close the books and have it so that financial transactions dated for a specific year cannot be changed. So in the menu, you'll go to Company and then Set Closing Date. Also, how to enter a journal entry if asked to do so by an accountant. So again, Mastering QuickBooks asks that you don't really make too many edits to QuickBooks as far as journal entries unless you truly do understand them. So journal entries are used to adjust errors, for making year-end adjustments, and for entering transactions that cannot be entered into built-in formats. So just knowing those different topics under basic accounting. And then lastly, customizing and saving time in QuickBooks as well as shortcuts. So this is 12% of the questions. So this will include the calendar, also how and why to memorize transactions. Transactions that are performed frequently can be memorized to save time. Also, how to set up multiple users and the different levels of access that can be granted or denied. So again, you'll have the main administrator, and then you'll have the users in QuickBooks who can do certain things, such as running reports, changing the closing date, things like that. And if someone is to enter a section in QuickBooks where they do not have access, a pop-up will come up, and QuickBooks will let them know that they are not allowed access into a specific area of QuickBooks. Lastly, you'll want to know how and why to create custom fields for both customers, vendors, and employees. So again, this here is just a very brief overview of the objectives for the exam that I'd sent. I recommend that after we get off the call today and preparing for the exam, whether you're continuing to take training or whether you're completely finished, just go through these topics and make sure that you're able to answer. And I found that this exam objective sheet was a really good guide for me, because if I couldn't answer something offhand, I would go back into the manual or back into the Mastering QuickBooks course just to review that topic and make sure that I had a good understanding. So this concludes the brief overview of the exam objectives. What I will do now is I will open this call up to Q&A. We have another question here that came up during the review here. Let's see.
Will this be available to go back to? Like
this review right now?
So I'd like to print it off or something so I can go back through it and look for answers to some of those later. Do you have in your package?
Yeah, what I'm doing right now is this is actually being recorded, so
Okay,
I'm going
I
to make
thought
this
so.
a little
Just checking.
and
Okay.
then, yes, all the information again is listed in the two-page exam objectives, so you'll be able to do that. All right, Nancy, I see a question from you here. I'm going to copy this down and look under the manual so I can bring this down after. So we have a specific question about where something is located in the manual. So again, Nancy, what I'll do is I will email you separately after this and tell you exactly where that is in our manual here.
What is it that she's asking?
Let's see. Credits and debits, where that would be in the index for a manual. So let's see.
I think that'd be good for all of us to know then. Is it in purchases, you mean? No.
To locate credit and debits from the table of contents. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put this on pause. If you can hold on for one moment, I will bring up the manual and see if I can do this right here. So if anyone has any other questions, if you just want to go ahead and type them, and I will answer them as they come up.
I don't know how to get in
Actually, what I'm going to do so we can save recording time here is for anyone who's on the call, I will copy and paste Nancy's question, and I will email you the answer as to the specifics where that is located in the manual here, so we can just save ourselves some time and empty air. So again, I'll, after this session here, I will make sure that this is answered for you. And then there's just another debit card purchases question. So again, I'll go ahead and answer that afterwards. So debit card purchases, basically anything that's covered on this exam. It's basically the process of recording. So again, this is another question that falls under credit and debits. So I will send the answer to this question as well, just so I can get into specifics as to where you can review that in the manual. Does anyone have any questions in regards to what is on the certification exam?
Well, I did like to ask, I can't type anymore. I've been working all day. Can I just ask, I haven't finished Pro 2009 yet, or Pro 2012. I'll be finishing it up today. The Pro 2009, I've been showing that I've been going between 70 and it's showing that I'm failing and passing back and forth. I don't know. I'm supposed to get 80% on that, or between the Pro and the Pro 2012?
Gotcha. So for those two activities, what you'll want is an 80% or higher on both of those. For the QuickBooks Pro 2012, and that is the SkillSoft course, what the course does is it takes an average of the different sections as well as the post-test that you'll take. So you're not actually going to get a final score in that course until you've finished everything. So you're able to go back into the course even when you're in it and do specific sections over if you wish, but you won't be getting the final score until you have finished everything there.
So in Pro 2009, I have to get 80% on those tests. I keep asking me to redo the test, and I keep redoing it.
Yes, so you'll need to, again, it's an average of all the different sections. So you'll see there's different section topics, and then, there's questions within. So what that's going to do is it's going to average to the different sections as well as the post-test, and it brings all that in to get the final score.
When I redo them and it gets a better score, does it give me a better grade then?
Yes, correct. What it will do is it will record the last score that you have, so the most recent one.
Okay, and the Pro 212, what is in? Is there tests in there as well?
Yes, so what the QuickBooks Pro 2012 is, that is a prove-it assessment. So that is specific to the types of questions that you will receive on the certification exam. So as I mentioned, the certification exam is a multiple choice. So what the QuickBooks Pro 2012 is, it is just a test, and it will give you a good idea as to the types of questions that you'll receive the day of.
Okay. Now, there's a period of time that you'll be taking a period of a couple days that you have to come to your location and take this test. Do you come there to have the pre-testing, or can you take the pre-testing here at your home?
Yes, that's a great question. So what you will be doing is, I'm not currently located at the Niagara County Employment and Training. When you have finished all of your training, you will be taking testing at their site in Niagara Falls. So I spoke with Bonnie, who is our program contact out there, and we recognize that some people are still working toward, completing the training, and some people have completed, some people are maybe a course or two away. So what she has asked me is that I give her information as to who has completed the training so they can take the exam, and then she'll reach out to you all as to a date and time. So testing will start next week, and what she'll do is she will arrange a convenient time that's good for both her and you to come in and take the certification exam.
Right, but pre-testing that we can take as like the test from our home?
Yes. Okay, so once you finish all of your training, you will receive a certification voucher. So again, I can give you some further information. And can I just ask who I'm speaking with right now?
Oh, this is Lori.
Okay, Lori, great. So once you finish all of your training, you will receive the certification voucher. So what that is a voucher. So it's voucher plus a retake exam. And also included in that voucher is our 3 practice tests. So those directly replicate the certification exam you'll be taking. All of that is accessible at home. So the only thing you will actually be taking on site at the One Stop Employment Center is the exam itself.
Okay. And now how many more classes are there for this QuickBooks?
Gotcha. So this is the final training session.
No, I'm the final session. There's any more QuickBooks training course? I know there's 1, there's 2. How many more are there available in the future?
Okay, so for this program, it's just the 4 different activities that are within your My Plan. So that's the info sheet, Mastering QuickBooks, the QuickBooks Pro SkillSoft course, and then the Prove It assessment, in addition to those practice tests. So those different things are what make up this certification program.
Yes, I understand for this one, but are you familiar with the other ones moving forward to other QuickBooks programs?
At this point, this is what we have as far as the training. So we may be getting some in the future, but this is what's available both through Metrics Learning and to the customers of this program.
Okay, where you guys are going to stop, because it doesn't get you too far. I mean, this is, it gets you, but then, I don't know. Okay. I was hoping to go another step up, because they said in the program that there's another QuickBooks 2 or something like the next step up.
I mean, this training program is designed to get you certified. So this is, again, real-world trainings program, and it's the QuickBooks certification exam itself. That is it's a designation that you're pretty advanced within QuickBooks. So this program was targeted to get you there. Beyond that, if there is any other training that becomes available, we can come in contact with Bonnie and inform you. But at this point, this is the most advanced training because, again, it does get you that industry-recognized credential if you choose to take the exam.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now how long do I have to finish this, like a day or 2?
Gotcha. So can I ask who I'm speaking with?
Lori again, I'm sorry.
Lori, it's fine. Your name just isn't popping up. Usually it does. Otherwise I wouldn't have to ask. So testing for the program begins next week, next Monday. So again, what Bonnie has asked us to do is when you're finished, we're going to contact her and she will get in contact with you for testing. So I know that different people are kind of in different places. We anticipated this because, you're employed and there's other things going on. Very busy time of year. So our recommendation is that you get everything. We were hoping everyone would be done today so we could have this review be on track. But if you are a little bit behind, try and get everything or as much done as possible to test next week. Beyond that, if you aren't ready, we can speak with Bonnie to make accommodations.
Okay, it says that you should have an info sheet. Do we provide you the info sheet already?
The info sheet is in your My Plan.
Okay.
So that is the first thing that you launched within the certification plan.
So I've already done that? You think?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to be completing all this most likely by the end of the day. And so, I'm getting my grade up, and then I'll call Bonnie and then set up for the exam. And that's pretty much the process, correct? Now, she had asked, you said had asked me, if anybody go on to more training. Isn't that what you asked?
No, the question that I had was the certification aspect is the optional thing. So we have people doing training. Yes, so I guess that is the next step, but it's great to know that you are wanting to do that. So actually, Lori, when you're finished, I'm running reports, I'm keeping tabs and things, but let me know once you have finished all your training, and then Bonnie and I will be in contact with you.
Okay, super. All right. Thank you, Valerie.
Of course. And I guess just a comment about this group, everyone is, incredibly motivated, and it's good that even beyond this program you're looking to take training. So that's definitely a note that I made in my head here, and we'll keep you appraised if anything else does come up.
Yeah. Well, I run a business. I've been using this program for 2.5 years, and a lot of this is helpful because I didn't know some of this. Well, I've been running a business using the whole program, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. What I think it does is, with myself, I use what I think now is the tip of the iceberg, but kind of knowing what else is available has been really helpful. So I'm glad that though you've been using QuickBooks, you did find benefit in this program.
Okay, thank you, Alec. So we, all right, thank you.
Of course. Does anyone have any other questions at this point? All right. Well, again, so I know that different people are, at different parts of the training, but once you do complete, please let me know, and Bonnie and myself will be in contact with you, Bonnie in particular for the certification exam. And, after we get off the call today, if there's something you forgot to ask, if something comes up, please let me know. And with a couple of questions that were asked and that kind of had specifics, I will, send out a group email here because I have everyone's information. So. And thank you for that, Nancy. So appreciate responsiveness throughout the program. So thank you so much for that. And, to send that back to you all, I appreciate your responsiveness as well. And it's been really great working with you for this program, and looking forward to helping you with the next step in getting this certification. So.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, great, everyone. So if no further questions, we'll go ahead and sign off here, and look forward to speaking with you soon.
Thank you. Bye now.
All right, goodbye.